Welcome back to Let's Play... What was this called? Yellow Avenger. I imagine we already talked to you. Oh, just Patrick, okay. So, only one person actually complained about the peculiar looking sky. And I know that person is still watching this series anyway, so I guess it's not too big of a deal. I got really used to it pretty quickly myself anyway, so I don't exactly mind, to be honest. There has been just some discussion, interestingly, okay, I already have that I guess. There has been some discussion, interestingly, about the differences between this version and the DS version. Also, I have no idea where I'm going. Where's the closest bus stop? But there's been some discussion about that, and it seems like this game is something of an interesting case of something that I actually don't know if I've ever seen before. Normally, especially licensed games, I mean, less so with non-licensed games, especially non-licensed games that are on console, but with licensed games, in my experience, especially handheld ones, different versions of a game that... Okay, didn't think so here. That meaning... different releases of the same game on different systems are usually totally different formulations of the same idea. They're made from the ground up, completely separately. The Nicktoons Unite games are probably the best example of that. Every version of every game is totally different. The GBA version, the DS version, the console version of Nicktoons Unite, or of Battle for Kano Island, or of Attack the Toybots, they're all totally different games. This game, it sounds like the DS version and the PSP version are pretty much the same, which is surprising to me considering that the DS and PSP are pretty different systems despite being handheld, the both, because you ordered it. I mean, I waited a week between hearing the order and coming here, but okay. So, wise man right here. Still have the music in this area in particular, for some reason. Delivery man, okay. Just go somewhere else. I can do that. So that does leave the question of whether I would play the DS version. It's supposedly the same thing, but to be perfectly honest, I'm thinking that I would. In part because I'm actually quite interested in seeing how they managed to make a game that's so similar for the DS and the PSP, considering that they're very different systems, not just on how one plays things, but also in terms of technological capability of the two systems. Quite different. They play at very different resolutions as well. I'm gonna just try to guess where Shitty Shoals is, because I don't remember at all. So I'm curious, I'll be able to identify various differences and whatnot. Supposedly, this version was actually released a few months after... a few months after the other version, the DS version. But I still affected the same game. What kind of makes that surprising to me is that... if it's... oh, wait, that's a bus stop. That's not a bus stop, it's just a bench. Darn it. I was about to say, I could have worked over here? No. Where was I going with that? Alright, man, remind me. I'm sure you're the person to remember things and remind me of things. But you wouldn't think that you can make an entire... You know, wait. I'm kind of curious. I'm keep distracting myself. But I want to check. If I lower the resolution to the normal game resolution, you can't make out the text. And you can still tell it's that particular thing from the show on the bottom there. The sea bear, whatever. You can't read it, of course, if you're at normal resolution. If you up the resolution, you can see, you can read, I'm Mary Sea Bear. But you won't be able to read that normally if you're playing this on the actual PSP. It's interesting. But you wouldn't think you'd be able to make an entire PSP game in just like a couple months, and I wouldn't think it would be arbitrarily easy to port something from the DS to the PSP of all things. Those are two different things. I have Ian been reading what Spongebob been saying. So it makes you really curious, and it makes you really want to take a look at the both of them, the two versions, and compare them. Nothing's going particularly quick so far. I don't think you need to worry about being quick, Spongebob. It bugs me how Marine Man in this game is not as spherical as he should be. His front is just kind of, it's flat. I think that's part of the same issue that Barnacle Boy has. His eyes are too flat. Just like Marine Man. I mean, this one sounds like a real reference to Aquaman. The whole Aquaman reference angle on Marine Man tends to kind of fall to the wayside, I feel like. Not that I have much familiarity with Aquaman to actually be able to recognize references to Aquaman, so maybe I'm wrong. This will create a pathway so you can go to a new area. Keep your eyes peeled. I wish it would just like speed up the text generation instead of just finishing it instantly, because I need to figure out where to resume reading whenever I get impatient and skip the text being written on screen. Regardless of opinions on the actual quality of this game, I personally find this game fairly interesting. I wonder if that sign up there has anything to do with the fact this was put out by THQ Australia. Not access, never mind. Why not? I have the belt and everything, and I'm doing Marine Man things. I have a map, don't I? Drink the jelly. I feel like I should be eating jelly. I'm not sure. Anyways, not sure if I appreciate that word choice. Really good. Not up there. Curious where that would take me. But between the little things I've talked about with getting to see kind of everyday Bikini Bottom things, like having to feed Gary, having to call him to grocery trap, things like that, seeing how one actually orders food with a chum bucket, after having seen those things, have I never tried to go here? No, I never tried going here. Could I not come in here before? I thought I could. There's no reason to actually get those bubbles if I don't need them, is there? I find all that fairly interesting. And on top of that... Oh, bubbles. It's really dark looking goo. Now there's some kind of interesting technically about this game with its... Huh. How do Larry's eyes look so wrong to me? It looks so accurate to his picture in the bottom right, his model, but I still don't like it. I thought I would find in Battle for Bikini Bottom, but what was different about it? I think he had bigger eyes in Battle for Bikini Bottom or something, even though that's probably less accurate to his model. No? Okay. Larry Lobster, isn't it just... Is Lobster actually a surname? I thought it was just Larry the Lobster. Although we don't say Bob the Sponge, I guess. Or Patrick the Starfish. Or Mr. The Crab, for that matter. It's just kind of a weird loop around here. I finally can't double jump after you bounce off of something. I keep expecting to be able to do that. Does this not take me anywhere new? Okay, that was really awkward. I don't really care if I take damage here, or if I have to respawn at some point. So there's not enough motivation to not die in this game. So I just tend to not really bother with healing myself, especially since at this moment, assuming that you can get health upgrades. Oh, that's not where I need to go. Hey, where do I need to go? Up there. Okay. Assuming you can get health upgrades. Feels like I don't heal enough from consuming jelly to actually justify ever doing so. Huh, those umbrellas remind me a lot of the umbrellas from Balcony Bottom. I'd be surprised if they're the same model or same texture or anything like that, but it's an interesting thought. The enemies in this game could be a bit more interesting. It's just, they're all different varieties of the same formula of just someone running around with bubbles around them. Scoop. Oh, that's all? Okay, whatever. Oh, let's press the wrong wrong button. Nothing of interest. Actually, speaking of this having originally been for the DS, apparently. One thing that I find, I was also thinking, I think I can go to the industrial park with this now. Or somewhere else. I think it's the industrial park. Oh, okay, you just somehow get the beer from here. Oh, an actual boss. But I noticed there were a bunch of screens where, for instance, where we would input a number or... What are you doing, man? You dancing? Okay. Or we would... Have some really stretchy limbs. You would shake Gary's food and things like that. That felt very, very DS-esque, but there are no touch controls. But that's why, because those are originally made for the touchscreen. I'm guessing how the power glove is, or Man Ray's health bar apparently in the top left. Why is he wearing the Eagle belt? Why? Oh, okay. What are you demanding? Does this do anything? I think I have a way of like attacking or anything. Oh, here we go. So to say, I feel kind of powerless right now. Aiming on this is really awkward. I really don't know why it aims in this particular fashion. Oh, what are you doing? Hurting me. Oh, darn it. So now you have to spend time doing this. Oh, I accidentally canceled power because I pressed the wrong trigger. That's what happened there. Alright, do I have to wait for you to run back over here again? Or... Oh, okay. That one I couldn't quite dodge. I expect I need to get him to come over here by hitting... Yeah, cutscene. I'd hit these floating spheres of whatever. And then from there, I'll jump over here. And then if I do that, he'll come over here and I can hit him. Just kind of weird. Totally. Okay, come on. I guess I should just jump whenever he does that attack in general, instead of trying to guess where he's gonna attack. Stop Ah. Okay, we got the timing figured out for using this, I feel like. It's an interesting idea for a fight, I guess. Because you need to... Oh, hey. Hey, so he jumps onto the platform, but what you have to do is take out the platform from underneath him. I think it's kind of a cool idea, although it's kind of weird how he just kind of improvises and floats over to you afterwards. No. We figured the explosion would kind of matter a bit more. Okay, so the implication was he was wearing the glove, but we never saw the glove. Alright, well, we'll see how this plays out next episode. Bye, everyone.